Communication is just more than words. It's actually just power.
Some of the things on this podcast will talk about heavy topics that we hope to communicate clearly about.
Communication to me is when you talk to others.
Communication helps us build relationships.
Stay tuned of the Nightly Podcast.
Make sure you tune in to our podcast, the Nightly Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Nightly Podcast. Today I finally have our principal, Dr. Coleman, on. Thank you so much for walking down here.
You're welcome. I was trying to be, sharing and let other people go first. So that's all.
That's so gracious. Love that. Well, Dr. Coleman is a guy. This guy does too much. He really does do too much. So I'm gonna let you, let us in on your career history, everything that you've done in your life, because it's like 1,002 things that this man is doing every day.
Oh, thank you. So I'm really fortunate that, my path, was to be here. So I started out in the military, and when I was in the military, I did nuclear reactor operating. So I learned about nuclear physics, how we use fission to transfer the heat, to make steam for the turbines, to make everything go. And so a lot of science, a lot of engineering. And when I was in the service, I was like, I really like people. So a friend of mine, his wife was an occupational therapist. So I said, oh, that would be a good career to do. So when I got out, I went right to school. And, throughout all the time I had, I bartended, I did Domino's Pizza. I mean, I'm so old that I was a paper boy back in the day.
Every guy I know that has done a million things has been a paper boy and has done pizza. My dad did the same thing. He did papers and he did pizza.
They're fun, they're easy, and every time it's just something that I stepped into. Like when I got hired at Domino's in Florida, I went into this pizza place. I just moved there for college, and the whole place was full. I sat down with a guy, and we started talking. He's like, "You're looking for a job?" Like, "Yeah, you should come work at Domino's."
Mm-hmm.
So I did Domino's. So yeah, I used to live down in South Florida and all that stuff. So when I first went to college, it was Palm Beach Community College. So that's another thing that's really good. I've done, I guess, every level of education: military, community college, bachelor's, master's, doctorate. Yeah, and then did trade. My whole family does tile, so that's why, when you see our sets and different things, I've been helping Mr. Martin, and so I'm handy. I love doing all of that stuff. But what's great about landing on the field of occupational therapy was born in the 1920s as a way to use occupation to help people rehab and recover. So really helping people to regain independence and skills through work. Mm-hmm. So being that includes everything, includes some psychology, some motor skills, some activity analysis, that being an OT is like a jack of all trades, master of none, which is what I feel like I am, because I can do the math stuff, I can do the science stuff, I can do the labor stuff. So I was an occupational therapist and worked in a lot of different public schools. And when I was in school, I decided to write a curriculum. So I wrote a curriculum for school-based occupational therapy because I didn't really like how, and I still don't entirely like how occupational therapy and other related services are delivered in schools. So when I wrote the curriculum, I was like, you know what, I should probably get some training in curriculum and education. So I got my master's in education. And from there, I was like, I've always been a leader, so let me get my supervisor cert, my principal cert, and all that stuff. And it took me about 6 years of applying in different places to be the principal here. Mm-hmm. So when I was the principal, my first day as principal was October 16th, 2019. And prior to that, I already started my doctorate, because as I was looking, and once I decided that principal was the route that I wanted, I'm like, let me do a doctorate. So I did my doctorate here, did the doctorate during COVID. So it was a lot of work. It was really good. Really great staff and students supporting it. But yeah, so then since I've been here, it's my 7th year now as principal. So it's been a very cool journey. And I still do occupational therapy. So I still work in a nursing home with seniors, and I still love it. Like I had a patient, I was at the nursing home this past Saturday. So I had a patient, we got her up, sitting at the edge of the bed, doing some trunk strengthening. So I'm talking to her, the PT's doing some exercises. So I'm brushing her hair, talking to her, like, I still really like it. So I like interacting here, there. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. So like now, I'm looking to try and get back into writing again. And because when I wrote the curriculum, I wrote some handwriting stuff, and I've presented. So I've done, I was an adjunct professor at Jefferson, and so I've taught in college. And
I told you, this guy, the things I don't even know. And didn't you? I heard from a little birdie one day. Did you like write a book or something?
yeah,
Are you?
so Coleman curriculum for school-based occupational therapy.
Alrighty.
So I want to write the second edition and all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, that was the impetus, the reason why I kind of started this journey in education and leadership. I saw what I didn't like and said, how can I fix it?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's a mouthful. That was not coming out of me, not any day. All right. Well, you work at the nursing home on weekends.
Sometimes after school too, if they need help.
Okay. And does your background in occupational therapy in any way influence your approach to leading and supporting your students here?
Oh yeah, because when like my role as a therapist is to assess a situation, a person, say, how can I make you succeed? How can I bring in a tool, a theory, an activity to help you be more independent? Like OT is all about independence. That's why when I have like adult patients, I'm taking them to the toilet, in the shower, getting dressed. And then at school, as an OT, it's more of handwriting, cutting. And then too, as the students, like here in this setting, being older, it's really analyzing activities and seeing what step you're missing. So I take all of that, so I really look at being proactive and how can I set everyone in the building up for success to be more independent. So I definitely take that therapist view.
And I have to ask, because being a principal is, I mean, it's what you do all day, every day. What makes a good principal a good principal?
So I think the best advice I ever got was from a friend of mine who is a principal, now an assistant superintendent. He was actually the principal at my kid's school, and so I've known him a long time and stuff. His thing was like, you need to be visible. So I'm always trying to walk around. I'm always trying to really know everyone in the building. So if someone's having a good day, I can celebrate it. If they might need more help, I proactively already see it before an issue happens. I think being consistent, visible, fair, and two, I think really communicating like what the mission and vision are, and really just how I want everyone treated. Like my biggest thing is being kind. Like it costs nothing to be kind. Costs nothing to listen that extra minute. So, I think that I've been very consistent with all the staff and students about what I believe is the right thing. I've monitored it, but then I've also acted it. So that's how I feel like being a good principal is setting the expectations, enforcing it, and then living it.
And when you say that one of the biggest things is being visible, I know you said that 2.5 years ago when I was on a tour here with my mom. You pointed out that is the most important thing that a principal can do. It's be active at your school. And
so have I delivered that promise 2.5 years ago? Have
you
I been
subbed for my lunches like 3 times. You're always walking around. I see you in the hallway. I mean, like every time I leave my classroom, I'm like, there's Dr. Coleman. There he is. I mean, at my district school, I don't know who my principal is. I don't know his name. I don't know what the guy looks like. But you're just like the relationship that you build with your students. It's crazy. You wouldn't think that you could have that with the principal as
Right.
a student. You just wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
So
No, I appreciate that, and that's too where I have students. Like there really should be no fear of coming to my office. I mean, I have toys in my office. I ask people just come down just to say hi and like covering lunches. I enjoy covering lunches because then I can ask like how you guys are doing, what's going on, and you know it's. I'm very lucky that in like a bigger district in a public school, you know, there are so many students and staff. It's really harder to be that visible. But here, with us having our own community, it really gives me that freedom. So I take advantage of it.
I do want to touch a little more on what motivated you to be a principal. I know that you said you have always had the confidence in yourself as a leader, and as you should, because you're an amazing leader.
Oh, thank you.
But what were some more of your motivations for becoming a principal?
I think just to be able to be bigger than just me. Like every level you advance to, you get to help more people. Like you get to impact more people, and you know, being an occupational therapist, since that was my training and that was my beginning in the healthcare and education field, I kind of wanted to like choose. So I could have said I like the healthcare field better and maybe been a director of a rehab or tried to advance in a hospital. But all the insurance, and just that could be a whole nother episode of just the problems with our medical insurance and the industry there. So being that I did not want any part of that, when I looked to advance and looked to where can I go, education was just a like natural fit.
And
So-
did you always have a passion for working with special needs kids, or has that passion just grown because it's clearly there?
It's just grown. It's you know, like I said, when I transferred from, you know, the nuclear engineering and that kind of field to be more with people, once I started working with special needs students, it's always been a joy because, you know, my kids like to tease me that sometimes a little goofy and my humor is childish. Well, that's why I work with children. 'Cause it just matters. It's because you know it's genuine. It's not, you know, when you like meet someone or they're working and you could tell they're putting on a ruse or it's fake or they're just like a facade. It's not. Like I like everything that I like to do, and I think that the greatest thing about students with special needs and disabilities is that they inspire you to do more because they take what they have and they do and do and do and I don't know, I like to help people through that kind of like struggle and show them like no, like you should be even more proud than me because you have more challenges. So
And could you tell, for those that don't know, could you tell everyone a little bit about what makes New Roads different from other schools?
So one of the best things about our school is the community, and like this room, it wasn't just me and Mr. Martin, but Ms. Learman, Mr. Chapman, Mr. Montana, students. Like when there's a project, everyone helps, and because we want our students to succeed, and because the way our program is designed, so our program is designed so that individuals can get their individual needs met. And, you know, it's very common, like Julia could be in a classroom, there's no one in the classroom with her. There's 5 other students in that classroom with her. So everyone's schedule is made to really help accentuate like what they want to do and learn, and there's so much flexibility. And then too, I think we're really lucky we have staff that have so many talents, like Mrs. Byrne does sewing, she does the pharmacy tech, she job coaches. I don't know if other schools have as many people that have such a passion to be flexible and really have these skills to share. So I think we're just very lucky that it is such an experienced and caring staff. It makes it easy for me to lead because there's so much stuff that they can do.
And as a school that provides services to children and young adults with special needs, inclusion and adaptation is fostered in almost everything we do and how we do it. So what strategies and initiatives do you take to create an inclusive and supportive environment for your students?
So one of the best things that we do is we give options. We help. We help be proactive. I think that's one of the best things as a leader you can do. So when we have a dance, we have our dance area. We have some tables, so students can interact as much or as little as they're comfortable with. We do our monthly awards. Some students, they'll sit right there. They want to sit in the back.
I got my couch in the back.
Yeah,
all the
Julia
time.
gets
Every award ceremony, I'm in the back.
Yeah, but it like, do you feel like you participate less? No, exactly.
Because I'm always there, and I always love to be there.
Yeah, and I think it's knowing that people are still engaged, but you can give distance, you can give an accommodation. So I think letting go of some of that, when I was in school, there's so many things that were rigid that, well, if you're not doing this, you're not paying attention. That's not true. You're not doing this, you're not learning. That's not true. I think here, especially the way I look at things is I value how you learn. I value how you think, how you feel, and when you plan events and you plan things, that's how you get everyone included. And part of it too is you ask.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't want to do that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. It really every student in this school to me is a young adult, and I want their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to know that their voice matters.
Mm-hmm. I will say it makes, because I'm on the other end of that. I'm on the end that gets asked, what's your opinion on this and that. It makes you feel very respected. It definitely does, and that is an amazing feeling as a young adult or as a teenager. And I have to say, having respectable authority is, honestly, I don't want to use the word privilege, but it is kind of a privilege because not everybody has that. Not everybody has someone above you that you can respect, but you're almost always going to have somebody above you, whether it's in a school setting or a work setting. So getting to experience that over the course of, it's going to be 3 years once I graduate. It's a very good life experience. It's a good experience in general. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Everyone here is, I think they have the same values as you. Everyone treats everyone the same, but yeah, it's definitely an amazing feeling to be so respected.
Well, you're welcome. And I said it's really important because you have so many talents. I would be a fool to think that just because I'm the principal that I shouldn't listen to your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. And so as a principal, you obviously have the most and the final say in how our school operates. However, the leeway that you give your teachers to manage their classrooms and their students based on their own judgments and observations has shown an impeccable amount of trust and confidence in your teachers. So I'm wondering how that confidence is built.
So it's built on the experience of the staff. It's built on the time. I've been at the school for 19 years. I didn't even mention that before. I was an occupational therapist before the principal, so I've been here for 19 years. So I've been a colleague with the staff. I've been their boss. I think it really comes down to that the way that I really enjoy running the school is I set parameters and expectations, and I explain why. It's not that I walk into a room or I talk to a teacher and say, you have to do this, done. No, it's I believe this is the best way. This is why I want to do this. This is what I want as a staff for all of us to do. So people respect that and people agree with the reasoning. And then they have parameters to run their room because whenever you're working with people, if there's a comfort level and your personality can shine through, that helps the students. So knowing the teachers' personalities, then we also to try and match the students for the best fit as well. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I think that's why there's so much trust because we're all as a team in agreement on the mission, vision, how we want to do it. And then people have the freedom to express themselves. So that will help them connect more and bring out more in students. And if I had a classroom, it'd be all Star Wars. It's okay.
Of course, of course. You have an office and it's all Star Wars.
It is.
But I know at the beginning of this year, you told me a bit about how you match our students' personalities to the environment. In particular classrooms, we have one quieter classroom on the work-based learning side, so our quieter students are over there. We have some loud kids in my classroom. Of course, all the talkative kids are in my class. But you're so amazing at matching your students to your teachers.
Oh, thank you.
And of course, it's because you're so active. You're just
No,
always
I'd...
out there and getting to know everybody. So of course you're good at it. Of course
Thank
you are.
you.
And so I'm wondering how you keep your teachers motivated through conflicts.
Because I look at it as personal growth. It's... And two, when we have staff meetings, so no one sees what the staff are meetings, the students don't see it and stuff. Like, I freely admit when I've done something wrong, when there's something that I want to change, something that, I want to grow. So I think that that's really the key is that making it okay to be vulnerable and to say, like, this is where I can grow. This is where I can push myself more. And then two, part of some times with some student behaviors, some conflicts, part of that is pushing to where, so let's just say that a student wants to, not do their work. And I say, well, why can't I go on my phone? Why can't I do this? Because you need to do your work first. So some times there's good tension and conflict because we're trying to improve your behavior, trying to make sure you're engaged in learning, but the whole point of it is growth. So I'm nowhere near perfect. I can do so many things better, and I hope that my staff sees that's a genuine belief that I have, and it helps them to grow, because that's really the most important thing. If you look at and I look at life as a journey. Like when I think of all the things I've done, the place I've lived, it's a journey. So if you keep going forward, then that's all you can really do.
And what motivates you yourself to work in so many challenging yet rewarding fields across your whole life, not just being a principal, but
just to help. Like I feel that I've been blessed with some good skills and qualities, and then I believe work. I believe work helps you to be more confident. It almost internally puts all those good vibes into your soul. Like it just, funny story. So when I was a resident assistant, I was a resident assistant in college. So even, and two, when I looked at becoming a principal, I was like, wow, I've always been a leader. I never thought of it. It was never a conscious thing. When I was at Domino's, I'm a driver. They're like, you should be a manager. I'm okay. I did tutoring at college. You should lead this. I'm okay. I was a resident assistant, so I led a whole building, and so we had an award show, and I did, since Atlantic City, I like poker and stuff. I did this casino night as a fundraiser and a student activity, and just a really fun event. And my boss, at the time we did this banquet for all the resident assistants, he was like, you walked up there with some pride. I'm like, yeah, 'cause I did something. When I do tile work or I do something where I get to do something, I like to walk in and be like, I did that. I cut those tiles. I put those up. I made all this look. It's pride. I think there's a pride in work that transcends from whatever job that you're doing.
I love that. See, people, confidence without an ego is possible.
Yes.
Okay. Can you share a specific lesson or value that you've carried throughout your career?
I think the biggest lesson is not making assumptions, not judging and saying, let me see what you can do. So by being open, it's and that really is a big part of when you're helping people. You know, it's really amazing how like you let someone do something and they do it in a funky way. You're like, wow, you could do it that way? They're like, yeah, because they might have like a joint problem or a cognitive challenge. So yeah, so I think I'm just a very pro, happy experience. Like life is good.
Now, last but not least, I gotta ask, what are your goals for the future of our school, and how do you plan to achieve them?
So the biggest change that's coming to our school is that right now our instructional system in our classroom, when everyone does a tour, we explain with our cubbies and the one-to-one instruction and that high school schedule vibe. So we're actually going to try and add some like augmentative communication, some, excuse me, some classrooms that might have more language needs, just so that we can like grow the population and diversify even like more. So that's a big thing. And then too, also too, hopefully as people watch this, they say, oh wow, you know what? My son or daughter might really benefit from some time at New Road School because of the level. Like this class, like people don't see that the podcasting isn't just us talking. It's the producers, it's writing questions, it's researching, it's, you know, it's such, you know, in my opinion, and I'm biased of course, but a professionally done college level class at a school for students with disabilities. So I think just trying to get more of that word out of like, to grow the school and to grow the program in that way and showing people that like you can be so valued here and there's so many things to offer. So it's always, and even when, you know, when I first became the principal, Mrs. Ryman was the director. I don't know if you met her, if she was here. So when it was just me, so I went from being the principal to director and principal. So it was both roles. I do both admin and then school-based duties. So, you know, one of the things that I told staff that first meeting was that I'm going to respect and keep traditions, but I want to add some new things. I'm going to try and move us forward and do best practice and all that stuff. So I think that that's in general what the leadership of a business, a program, a school should do, is assess what's worked and then look to see where we can improve. Let's see what we can add. So it's that, keeping the good, making it better, and then finding new stuff that'll support that.
Now, I will say for this class specifically, the amount of free will that we have is crazy. The amount of kids that are doing their own thing. I mean, I walked into class the other day, and I wasn't here for the first period, but I walked in second period. We got one kid, he's got his music segment going on. I'm like, that's new. Okay. Then I got one kid, she's got her own segment. She walked in, and she like spit out the name, and we're like, oh my God, that's so fun. That's amazing. And we're like, yeah, it's a new segment. And I'm like, oh, okay. But there's like 10 million things going on that the kids are running themselves, and that's of course an amazing experience. I mean, I have that experience too. I'm doing my own thing a lot of the time. But yeah, that is so true when you say that this class, it definitely resembles what you would be doing in college, studying on your own, being creative on your own. But yeah.
Yeah, I think too, like our school really supports the arts. Like I remember when Mr. Chapman first started, it was really hard because he's the initial with film festival, with the podcasting. So I told him in private, I'll share in public now. He really has such a calm and open demeanor that he really encourages the artistic expression. So it really has shown that there's been so many things that can flourish here because of his demeanor and his really appreciation for expression. So I think that between Mr. Chapman, Mrs. Ringeisen for art, Mrs. Sprancho for music. There's just so many. And another thing too, like when people come and do tours or you see our school, there's a lot of murals. Like we really don't just say like, well, we like art. Like we've really supported the arts, and I'll share that you're helping Mrs. Ringeisen with the art because you're very talented. So yeah, I think just and that's too like going back like with the trust of staff and students, because everything is set. All the parameters are set. It's communicated, so staff and students know they have this freedom because there are parameters that everyone respects. So until that parameter or that trust is broken, sometimes that happens, where like things have to shift a bit and stuff, but for the most part, that's been the school culture and the climate of the school, is that you're valued, your voice matters, and you're in a safe space within these parameters, so we want to hear it. We want you to do it. So I think it just shows.
Now, that would be an amazing place to leave off, but I lied. That wasn't my last question. I got to give the people what they want. So I have some funner questions.
I love fun questions.
For you. Starting with, if you had to change New Road School's mascot tomorrow, what would you change it to and why?
I mean, the obvious answer is Jedis. Like it would be. But I couldn't give out free lightsabers. I don't use the Force. I love that.
Oh my God, of course.
So I would maybe go animals or so. That's a hard one because I think the knight, like the way we run everything on principles and character matters. So you know what? I think I'm gonna have to give a shout out to Mr. Martin. I think that we would be like the tigers or something. I think a feline. There's been a feline aura around this school for a while. So
it could just be Eric.
It could just be Eric. The Erics.
Love that. Okay, if you could add 2 new meals to the lunch menu, what would they be? Because we switch it up. We switch it up every Monday and Friday.
Yeah. So I would love some beans and rice. Like rice and beans is the best. And then you put fried egg on top of it, so the yolk runs through everything. That would be amazing. And then I would want to do like some kind of like Buffalo Wild Wings kind of thing, like a chicken wing with like mango habanero, like really let the kids
just
experiment.
Just a whole spread.
Yeah, if you give me wings and beans and rice, I'm fine with that.
I was thinking something more cultural, maybe like butter chicken one day. With some garlic naan on the side, some white basmati rice.
Well, listen, then too, if you want to get more ethnic, like, so one of the things that I tell my kids, I said, you want to travel to other countries because the food and the culture is amazing. So, a friend of mine is Brazilian, so I love chicken hearts. Yeah, it's the actual heart of the chicken, like pops in your mouth. It's amazing. Yeah.
When you space out for just a quick second and then somebody says something crazy. Chicken heart?
Yeah. Other cultures eat so many, there's bone marrow, there's pig's feet, there's all kind of stuff that people eat. But for me, if I go to a Brazilian steakhouse, I want to start with chicken hearts. I want some fried yuca. I want the radicchio.
Yuca. I love fried yuca.
Fried yuca is really good.
It is good. Gotta let Miss Crowley know. Get that on the menu. Now, if you were a student at New Road School and you got to create your own schedule, because that's something that we do here, I was able to put together my whole schedule this year. What would a day in your life look like? What classes would you be taking?
Podcasting?
Oh, of
podcasting.
Course.
I mean, that's definitely podcasting. Definitely computer recycling. That definitely production. Maintenance with Mr. Martin for sure. Art. I guess I might throw an academic class in there.
He's trying to touch all bases. All bases. Can't leave nobody out.
But I feel like I've done that. I've definitely helped Mr. Chapman and students paint stuff for some films. Helped Mr. Martin do stuff around the building. Mrs. Raleigh, just ask. She's amazing. Just I ask her and it's done, so I don't really have to help there. But yeah, those would be that. And then I have affinity for sciences, so if I could take a science class, I would do the English and math. But I very much love my hands-on stuff. So computers, podcasting, maintenance, production, horticulture too. Sure.
Of course, we just grew some pineapple today. We're tasting
Yeah, that was
pineapple
like
in
really
the
like
kitchen.
cool.
I didn't get any.
Oh, you didn't get any?
No, I didn't get any.
I didn't get any either. I felt like I wasn't a student in that
Footprints.
class. Well, she called for students, not the principal. So
I don't know. They were giving it out to people. I don't know who they were giving it out to. Maybe the class ran through all of it. All I know is I didn't get any pineapple. No pineapple for me. If you had an endless budget to introduce a new class to New Road School, what would it be and why?
That's a hard one because we have so many like quality classes. So
Maybe
I would love to if we could like build.
Here it
Well,
goes.
the mind is turning.
Here
I'm
it goes.
thinking, like my kids say, let me cook.
Oh my God.
I try. I try not to be sus and all that stuff. I try. So I would love to be able to build like a separate building and have a pool. Do like
Okay.
aquatic therapy, aquatic safety.
Oh, of course you go above it. You know, an endless budget.
You said
Yeah,
endless.
Why
You didn't
not?
say I
Why
had to
not?
like. You could make a whole like aquatic center. I mean, that would be like more of the fun thing, but the thing that would probably be the most appropriate is if we could actually take our cafe and make it so that it was in the community or something. Yeah, like something to like where. So, although I enjoy cooking, I didn't mention the kitchen is one of my classes. But yeah, if I had an unlimited budget and we could make the culinary program like our own restaurant, I think that would be amazing. Where it could be more of interacting with the public, because that's the hard thing. We've talked about like our ShopRite and converting to different bakery stuff, but there's security issues that if I have strangers coming to the school, then now because I also took a class on, I'm a certified school safety. Well, not certified because I didn't follow up with all the continue ed, and when I first did it, my school couldn't do it. But there's a 4-day school safety specialist training. So I took the school safety specialist training to go over all the facets of making sure the school is safe. So by adding something on the property with even a separate entrance, the security, it's really become so much more involved because you have to protect everyone. That's the first job. From my first job is everyone's safety. So we talked about that, but it didn't work out with the safety stuff. So I segue back to the original question because I get lost in tangents. When I talk, I don't know. So I would have a pool for fun, maybe just a party place, and then for the real one, for a real thing, I would like an off-site culinary experience, something to where like our kids could practice here in the kitchen, and then maybe even go work. And that's part of it too, of changing the dynamic of like schools. Like, wouldn't it be cool if school could almost be like an option of like a longer day, 3 days on school, 2 days off? Because say that you had the kitchen as practice, and then one night a week we actually worked, and that counted as your following day of school. There's a logistical nightmare of babysitting and all that other like stuff, but and that's part of like why I like talking and thinking and education and programming, is because those outside the box things. So like we're bound by the societal structure and by the 9 to 5 and by all this stuff, but unlimited budget, unlimited help, because then we can pay for babysitters. So now you've given me more money, I can do more things. So I'd have like a whole coalition of babysitters. We'd have the kids practice in the kitchen, and one night a week we'd have a restaurant so they can train with the public and yeah, all that stuff. We'd have babysitters, we'd have bus service, all kind of stuff.
That would be very cool. You know what? That is an even better place to leave off. thank you for trekking down here
You're
and
welcome.
sitting with me today. And make sure that you tap into our next episode of the Nightly Podcast.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
That was good.
So fun. Oh my
It is.
gosh.
I could talk all day.
Oh, I
And
could.
you could talk.